This is out of control. The world feels out of control right now. And it's not really a new thing. I mean, this is like the story as old as time, but that doesn't help the fact that right now it feels out of control. Here's what's crazy. Out of control is actually the norm. What's weird is when we actually have things in control. Think about that for a second. Chaos is like the natural form of the earth, not order. That's what we make, or at least that's what we think we make. But right now, I have friends that are either out of a job or looking for a job, or working from home and with a total new change of environment, or working the same job with a lot of new hours. And so everything's crazy. It's out of control. And we don't like being out of control. I mean, that's not a good state for us. When things are out of control, they're unpredictable. So what do we do when things are unpredictable? We try to make as many things in our life predictable. We take anything we can't control, we try not to focus on it. Instead, we focus on new things that we can control. Come here, I'll show you. First rule, get out of bed, wake up at the same time every single morning. Set a pattern. These patterns are so important for ourselves. Whether your work has changed, you don't have work, or even if it's the weekend, set your alarm to get up at the same time. Now this might be hard at first to develop the pattern, to develop the habit, but if you start waking up at the same time, say it's sometimes between 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., don't sleep till noon. You want to be productive, but say you get up between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., somewhere in there, in your body, most of us typically need 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Then if you're going to bed at midnight, 1 a.m., by night 2, you're going to be so tired you're going to crash anyway. So eventually it's not going to be a problem. If you're thinking about things and you're having trouble going to sleep at night, my rule is I don't think about tomorrow at all. That is my personal rule. I cannot think about tomorrow or anything in the future as soon as my head hits the pillow. I have to only be present. Sometimes I have to go all the way down to each breath by breath, to stop planning and having anxiety and anticipating the future. At least that works for me. The second thing I suggest we can control in our lives is what we eat, our diet. Now, we all need to be very conscious about our immune system and our health right now. We all need to double down on that more than ever. And this is all about discipline, the same with sleep. But if you're doubling down on what you're eating, you're making sure that you're getting the right nutrients, you're getting natural foods, not all this processed stuff, not fast food as much. Now, we're all guilty of it sometimes, but if we double down on the good stuff, we're going to be better off in the long run, not only for our immune system, our mental health, our energy, sleep, as we just talked about. Now, what I like to do is I like to do these prep meals. There's a million different companies. All of them are pretty good. This one in particular, you could order online as many as you want. They're about $10 a piece, which is super affordable. Come straight to your door. And there's a bunch like this. It's something we can control in an uncontrollable world. Something we could talk about if we talked about sleep and we talked about eating. You know, the other thing we can control, being active. Now, if we're all stuck in our house, quarantined, or God forbid, some kind of lockdown, we're gonna need some exercise. That's going to help with sleep. That's also going to help with eating. All these three things kind of work together. So there's a lot of things you could do in your house if you can't go outside. Now, the best scenario would be to go to the gym. Those opportunities are probably gone and probably not safe right now. If you have a home gym, you're one of the lucky ones. If you can go walk in your neighborhood, that's great. If you're a jogger, more power to you. I hate jogging. But there's a lot of things you can do in your house too. You could be creative. You could do push-ups and sit-ups. I've seen my mom walk in circles in the house just to get some kind of exercise. But all this is so important. And I've heard rumors that there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you could watch for free, exercise type videos. If you know some of those, maybe comment below, or if you want me to dive in and maybe find some for you guys, I could do that too. Comment below if you want me to research that more. But the bottom line is I would recommend 30 minutes, 3 times a week minimum. 30 minutes, 7 days a week would be better. An hour, that's probably even better than that. But in this time when we're working from home, it's going to be really important to get some exercise. You guys probably know that already, but this is all about discipline and things we can control. You know what's driving me crazy? All these crazy news stories that are ever changing, and some of them are lies, and some of them are the truth, and some of them are right in the middle, most of them probably, and we cannot control that. But we can control our exposure to them. So I would suggest time block that during your day. So if this is getting to you, like it's getting to me, and I think it's getting to most people, there's a little bit of anxiety that if you're just accidentally flipping through your phone and you see some kind of headline that you weren't expecting and it catches you off guard, then that's going to affect the rest of your day, maybe even your week. So here's what I suggest. Give yourself 20 to 30 minutes in the morning, not when you wake up. Actually, that's a very important thing, is when you wake up, make sure you have some distance between you and that news to get up, get going, have your cup of coffee or whatever your morning routine is. And then give yourself 20 to 30 minutes, catch up on a headline or two, right? Go to your favorite sources, hopefully creditable ones. Go back and start your work, start your routine, start some of your discipline we've been talking about. At the end of the day, I would suggest another 20 to 30 minutes to catch up on what happened. And don't go down some deep, dark rabbit hole that just makes you go through Twitter and follows random stories from people who don't know what they're talking about. Now, you might want to give yourself some random time right in the middle of the day to watch like a press conference. Those are kind of important. If you're that kind of person, you feel like you got to be on the news. That's 3 times. That's probably 20 to 30 minutes, an hour plus a day, and that's it. And then you're done. Then you can control that information coming to you. You can't control what you're hearing, but you can control when and how it gets to you. And that's part of our sanity right now. Just my thoughts. I am not a sleep technician. I'm not a fitness expert, and I'm not a nutritionist. So all these are just opinions that I've been giving you. But these are things that have worked for me and things that make my life just a little bit easier, and I feel like they are worth sharing. I also think it's worth sharing that we need to all collectively be very careful about what we're posting on social media during this kind of time. If we're spreading fear or rumors, this could cause serious damage. So just stay away from that kind of stuff and stick with what you know. And I promise you, I'm not going to be posting any graph charts. That being said, if we could start taking a little bit of control in this world that we cannot control, we could start regaining our sanity. And if you feel like everything I've said in this video can't work for you, aim smaller. Aim smaller. If you could brush your teeth, that's control. You can control brushing your teeth. If you could comb your hair in the morning, that's control. And if we could just regain a little bit of control, it'll help us feel better about this. It'll help us to have a better day. And all we really have is today. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. And I feel like if we all think like this and we all apply this just a little bit in our lives, we're going to be just fine. See you guys.
That's why I love dirt roads. That's why I love dirt roads.